Communication is an important human activity. Effective, enjoyable communication is a key to maintaining positive relationships with those around us.
Where's the coffee?
Oh, get out. Up here.
People communicate for many reasons. We communicate to get a message across, to achieve tasks, to express our needs, and to make sense of our feelings. We also communicate simply for fun. Relating with others is an important part of an enjoyable lifestyle. People who have dementia usually experience a decline in their ability to communicate effectively. They may forget the words for common items or the names of familiar people or places. It may be difficult for them to express themselves clearly and to understand what others are saying to them. This can be frustrating for both the person with dementia themselves and for their families, friends and carers. In this program, you will meet many people who are living with dementia in various stages of its progression and in various settings, including at home, in planned activity groups, and in residential care facilities. This program will show you examples of many common communication difficulties experienced by people with dementia. It will also show you some techniques or strategies that may ease some of these difficulties.
Did I ever tell you when we were little girls, your mother and I?
Yeah,
Understanding how dementia affects communication and finding ways to cater for the changes in people's abilities can help make communication more effective and enjoyable for everyone involved. Dementia is a brain illness. It usually affects older people, but is not a normal part of ageing, and some younger people have dementia. Try to imagine the brain as a city filled with lights, where each one of the lights represents something that has been learned or felt or experienced during a lifetime. If you can imagine those lights turning off one by one, and that each of these represents an aspect of communication, you can get a sense of the effects that dementia has on the brain. Different types of dementia affect the brain in different ways. The effects of dementia on any individual are likely to change over time and may even change from day to day. Just as each of us is individual and unique, difficulties in communicating vary from person to person. Marion sometimes finds it difficult to recall certain words.
We had to have statistics and they had to be very, can't think of a word I want to use. We have, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
With the statistics, they had to balance. That's what I was trying to think of.
And they've known each other for years.
Carmel has trouble remembering names.
Who's that?
John and Helen from Warrigal. They've
Their names, yeah.
That's Helen there.
As the condition progresses over time, more and more communication skills may be lost, including understanding and speech. Some people with dementia can lose their sense of reality as they forget the time and place they are currently living in. Nicoletta believes that William is a boy she went to school with. She happily repeats this reunion every time she sees him.
Get down to the end of your room, all right? Yeah. Cool. No worries.
Irene seems frustrated because she was not able to communicate what she wanted from the carer.
Oh, look at that. That looks like it's at a...
If people with dementia are left alone and unstimulated, they can engage in repetitive behaviour. Mary is counting on her fingers repeatedly. People with dementia may also have problems in understanding what is being said, or they may misunderstand or misinterpret a message.
Mary, would you like me to put the fan on? No, not that fan, the electric fan. Would you like me to turn it on, this one over here?
Yes.
There we go.
Ensuring people with dementia continue to have an enjoyable lifestyle is one of the important ways of keeping them engaged with others and with their environment. Without this, people can become isolated, their confusion can grow and their remaining skills may deteriorate.
He was riding his bike, minding his own business, and a magpie swooped him. It's magpie season. So you got to...
Enjoyable communication can stimulate the memory and preserve people's abilities, thereby helping them to stay active and independent for as long as possible. People with dementia retain their feelings and emotions even though they may not understand what's being said.
You like pretty things, don't you? It's got diamonds in it, like your cross has got diamonds.
They may quickly forget the details of a conversation, but their feelings of enjoyment may continue for many hours.
They're pretty.
It's important that people with dementia keep their self-esteem and continue to feel good about themselves. People with dementia may no longer be able to tell us what they need or express how they feel, so we need to find ways to identify the person's needs and feelings and offer an appropriate response.
Beryl, do you want to come and sit with us? Do you want to come and sit here?
Being aware will help to ensure the person remains comfortable and at ease and may reduce the likelihood of frustration being expressed in behaviour.
We're looking at Bonnie's wedding album.
There is a lot that families and carers can do to ensure effective and enjoyable communication with a person with dementia. Often this involves adapting daily habits and lifestyle to allow for the changes the person is experiencing. The strategies outlined here may need to be adapted to your own circumstances. Remember that strategies adopted early in the person's illness will become even more useful as the dementia progresses and communication becomes more difficult.
Do you know what to do?
I do, I'll be fine, yep.
When speaking to a person with dementia, focus their attention by sitting at the same level and making eye contact with them. Avoid speaking with your back turned or while doing other things. Background noise such as TV or radio can be distracting. Turning these off can help the person to focus their attention on communicating with you.
Is that okay?
Where are we going to sit?
We'll just sit on the couch.
Busy, noisy places can cause distress for some people with dementia, making communication even more difficult.
Crowds. I can't... The noise of everyone talking, you know, in a contained room. I get jumbled messages. I'm trying to listen to you and I can hear him and all that sort of stuff. So I step back and you'll find me sitting on myself.
Many people with dementia still enjoy being out and about in their community. Consider visiting smaller, quieter places, such as a cafe or a smaller supermarket.
Good, thank you.
It's important to use short sentences and simple words and to speak clearly without being condescending or disrespectful.
We've got tuna mornay or we have pork and pickle sandwiches.
Shouting will not help the person to understand. If at first they do not understand, repeat yourself or try to find another way of saying it.
Now, what was the horse's name?
When speaking with a person with dementia, be patient. Communicating will be even more difficult if the person feels hurried or pressured.
Those flowers are beautiful on the bench there. Where did you get them from?
Give them plenty of time to get their message across. A good rule of thumb is to wait 5 seconds after asking a question to allow the person time to comprehend and respond.
It was Rosie gave me those.
Show that you have understood by repeating what they have said.
Rosie. Yes.
Oh, that's nice of Rose, isn't it?
Yeah. She comes to clean my house and she brought them.
People with dementia often take longer to complete tasks. It's important to allow them plenty of time. Rushing may cause anxiety and stress, which can add to their communication difficulties.
No, I'm not ready yet, John. Just wait a little bit.
It can also help to break tasks down into smaller steps that are achievable and will not overwhelm the person.
He always used to clean the pool. Now you can go. And it's too complex to do that at the moment, but he can clean it if it's all set up for him. So I'm doing a lot more things with him or getting other people to do things with him.
Don't be afraid to help people out with words that they may be struggling to recall or with tasks that they may be finding difficult.
So you just give it a bit of a stir, yeah?
Your help may avoid further frustration and humiliation. Here Marion was asked to help by stirring the drink, but when her sister takes over the coffee making, Marion seems lost and confused. Avoid being patronising or taking over the conversation or task for them. It is important that people maintain as much independence as possible. People with dementia can become confused if too many different things are being said or asked at once. Try to deal with one thing at a time.
A savoury biscuit or a sweet biscuit?
It is important to offer people a choice because everyone has likes and dislikes, but it may help to limit the choices available to 2 or 3.
Mary, before I go, I'll just write you a doctor's appointment on the calendar for you.
Memory aids, such as a diary or calendar for recording important events, can help to reduce the person's reliance on a failing memory. Establishing and maintaining a regular routine also helps to reduce reliance on memory. Labels on cupboards or drawers using words or, if reading is difficult, pictures can also help. As the person's condition progresses, they may forget the names and relationship of even the most important people in their lives. It can help to introduce yourself or wear a name tag.
Hey, it's Rod, your nephew.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Sorry. Yeah,
How are
sorry
you?
about that.
You okay?
Oh, I think I'm all right, yes.
Oh, that's good.
Come in.
As dementia progresses, the ability to communicate through speech can decline, and we must rely on non-verbal signals or cues to understand the needs and feelings of a person with dementia. A person who is wandering in and out of the kitchen may be saying, "I'm hungry." An anxious or distressed look may mean that the person has a pain, needs to go to the toilet, or is troubled by something going on around them. An angry outburst may indicate frustration or a need that is not being met. Careful observation of a person's behaviour can help you to understand their non-verbal messages. Being familiar with their likes, dislikes, habits and hobbies can also help.
And so when I came home, he was agitated and trying to tell me this. And he said, "It's all fallen down. It's all fallen down." And I knew it was something really important from the way he was doing it. He must have made an indication that it was something in the news. So I thought, well, I'll ring my mother because she would have had the radio on. So I was just going to ring, and John turned the TV on, and it was the Jakarta bombing, and all the glass had fallen off the windows. So I knew straight away what John was saying.
Yep.
So there's a lot of guesswork, isn't there, John?
Yep.
They might fit on this one.
We should give careful consideration to our own non-verbal communication. Our body language and tone of voice may be the strongest message being received by the person with dementia, as their ability to comprehend language deteriorates.
Your little,
Yeah, you
with
told
your
me that
mother.
before.
If you are feeling tired or frustrated, your behaviour may be telling the person that you are frustrated with them, which in turn can affect how they respond to you. Here, Rod seems to be anxious and his aunt becomes agitated in
I
response.
need you here.
Okay, well, I'll stay a little bit longer, but
A smiling, relaxed approach will help to ensure a positive communication experience for both you and the person with dementia.
I had chocolate yesterday too.
Communicating without words can be an effective way of getting your message across to a person with dementia and achieving daily tasks. The person may no longer remember the word bath, but a favourite towel or the sound of running water may trigger positive memories and help them to understand that it's time for a bath. Sometimes, people with dementia will copy your actions, and simply doing the task yourself will encourage them to do likewise. Similarly, taking someone's hand or otherwise directing them to what you want them to do can help. Gestures, such as pointing or nodding your head, can also be useful when words are failing. Communicating without words becomes even more important when the person speaks a different language from you. People who have learned a second language later in life often have difficulty communicating in that language when dementia develops. Remember too that conversation is just one way of engaging and interacting with a person with dementia. Interactions that tap into the various senses can also be enjoyed, such as massage, smelling herbs or flowers, enjoying favourite foods, or looking at a pleasant view. Music, dancing and singing can also be very enjoyable for some people with dementia and are good ways of communicating if verbal skills have been lost.